matchup. BBQ Olivers. MVP. Beginning of the end. 2018 League of Legends Champions Korea Spring Split.
Welcome back, OGN Legion, to LCK Spring 2018. I'm still Atlas, this is still Papa Smithy, and it was a 2-0 for Kingzone, but we only had like a 20-minute break. It was the best.
Yeah, we had the standard minimum break, which means we can get into BBQ versus MVP. Now, it's been a long time since the BBQ Olivers have been able to raise the Roosters. They've stayed at half-mast. We haven't had any Rooster raising because they've been struggling. They lost to SK Telecom T1. They broke that losing streak for SKT. MVP may be our 10th place team, but cautiously I'd say they've maybe been in better form than BBQ recently. So MVP want to join this cavalcade of teams on 2 match wins. If they're able to do it with a win here, it would go and give them some chance of getting out of the relegation spots before spring is over.
It would actually even them out against BBQ Olivers in match score at least. So that's a crazy world that we are now in. SK Telecom, of course, falling to MVP, but then being able to best BBQ Olivers in their last outing. So I understand what you're trying to say. You know, it's like this is the team on -11, a ludicrously poor score in the LCK at the moment, but potentially form could give it to them as they move in to the matchup against BBQ Olivers. Because the Freaka Freaks, on the other hand, who they just lost to, are looking extraordinarily good.
It's a weird, weird world where Kingzone, KSV, KT Rolster, we knew about those guys. Afrika confirmed their spot up there. SK Telecom, their fans will hope that their narrative is not written yet. They could still go on a massive win streak. We'll know more about that tomorrow when they face KSV, but for today, BBQ Olivers versus MVP. And you'd have to say largely a battle to avoid relegation for both these squads.
Yeah. And also, we want to check out the rosters here as well, because there are a few questions to be had, and there's one answer. Bono is going to be in the jungle. No more Trick. Haven't seen him for a couple of weeks, actually. Was certainly here, but I haven't subbed him in. So
I'd love to see him turning tricks on the Rift, but sadly, no. No tricks on the Rift.
Not this time. Not this time. We're just going to have...
You two can join us for Bono on the Rift. It's going to be a lot of fun there. As we get ready to show Ignar as well, who will be hoping and praying for no Alistair ban. We know better.
We know that that will probably be ban number 1. Was certainly in their loss to SKT. SKT seemed to understand that you give Ignar a playmaker and he's going to be able to go off on it. And he certainly did manage to do that.
And some interesting champions in solo queue from this squad that we'll talk about in Champ Select as well. So I'm hoping that BBQ Olivers, who did not bring any free chicken, brought at least some new champions for us to enjoy.
Yeah, exactly, because if you're not going to bring the free chicken, bring us some exciting League of Legends instead. We can forgive them for any sort of boredom on the Rift if there is BBQ chicken, but it just didn't happen this time
BBQ logo
around.
just disappeared, and now here's MVP.
Well, here we go, and that is going to be Pilot in the AD carry position, guys. So Maha not going to be spending some time with this. Of course, Pilot not having the greatest experience in his debut on the team, but we'll see whether he does any better and whether that synergy with Max has improved.
Remember, he was actually the AD carry in the match win against SKT in the final game, so at least Pilot has that to remember. He has struggled pretty extensively on the Rift, but he gets another go after multiple series where they preferred Maha. Let's see if MVP show us again the better parts of their last couple of series. They had a good game 1 against Afrika. They beat SKT, and they should have taken a game off KSV as well, so they have not been completely out of luck after the start of the season where it was a bit hapless for MVP. So good to see them looking better in their own way. They also have some of the best cheerfuls of the little mug shots we have here.
That's true, they are very, very cute.
Fans are very reliable and very loyal to the MVP org.
Actually, a few turning up here, of course, not necessarily like the hype match that we had prior. But let's have a look, see how these guys are going. And MVP, thank goodness for SKT's gigantic slump, because they were gifted themselves a match victory.
Yeah, they were doing the reverse Kingzone for a little bit there.
They certainly were.
Thankfully able to pick up some victories. And again, better play against KSV and Afrika means if I was the coach, I would leave the last 3 best of 3s, against KSV, SKT, and Afrika, being like, all right, it's getting better.
Yeah.
It couldn't get much worse, but it was definitely getting better, whereas BBQ struggling a bit.
Aww. It was like our last KDA graph, but really small.
Well, unfortunately, we put it in the wash and it got smaller. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Ignar, though, 4.2, a very nice KDA for a support, especially an engaged support like Ignar.
Yeah.
Bono has shown us some good stuff. I guess over the course was out-jungled largely by Blossom, but it was very competitive between the two. And when you look at history since the start of summer, before it was BBQ All of Us, when they were still ESC ever, it is MVP with the nose in front, especially recently.
Yeah, since 2016 as well. We really are going into the history books. But MVP, if you recognize 2017 from spring to round 2 to summer round 2, that was when MVP really started to turn things around. And felt a lot better. Figured out that they could just have pick comps every single game, and it was going to be okay.
Remember in summer season, though, they were pretty hapless, even more so than maybe this year. And if not for these 2 match victories, maybe they would have been those relegation spots.
Hey, that's a good point, yes.
They really got it together right at the end of summer and faced BBQ at the right time. We're going to compare the top laners. Both of them going to be wanting to jump on the gangplank. They can see that they are on the screen, so they're having a bit of fun here. We saw the fun tussle of the junglers yesterday in Jin Air series, but let's see how it comes together. Obviously, KDA's nothing to write home about. ADD, thinking about Gangplank, but Lucky and Sion, we know what you're thinking about.
Yep. I want to see some more Nasus from Crazy as well. Saw him try that one out. It didn't work, but it was fun, Papa Smithy.
And Crazy's one of these unheralded players when it comes to lane. I feel like his laning phase is very clean.
Yeah.
So he's a very good laner. That's why he's actually been able to find success on a lot of different champions. 3rd for CS per minute. Very, very reliable. 1st for damage taken per minute is good old ADD. Largely
ADD
playing
is
Sion.
really good at taking a pounding. He's like really good at it.
That is definitely one you want to clip out and keep for later. Nice one there, Atlas.
Out of context.
Who's going to win?
Oh, this could be very close. And no, it's not, because people love chicken. That's what we've discovered. 70%, actually. That's based on sort of how I've been feeling about MVP and the amount of devoted fans that they have. It's interesting that the vote wasn't all that high.
Well, it wasn't many fans either. There's only 2,000 people on the vote, so understandably, not going to be too many people on the BBQ versus MVP hype train, but I am, Atlas, because I've seen some stuff in solo queue that makes me think we might get spicy here. Now, if we see Nara versus Jarvan and Rise versus Azir, then perhaps I'll be a bit disappointed, but yeah, I'm hoping against hope we'll see some new stuff. Maybe leave open a Zoe and lock in Twisted Fate or 2 is what I would like to see. So
okay.
We're not going to see Trick on the Rift, but maybe we'll see a tricky pick and ban. Maybe that's the most we can hope for. Pilot playing, Bono playing, maybe some Nidalee, maybe some fun between BBQ and MVP. Both of them desperate for another match victory.
Yep. Excited to see what Tempt has got, because I feel like as far as a mid lane matchup, this is probably his best opportunity to style. Ian hasn't exactly been having the greatest season of his life. So Tempt could certainly opt into pulling out something a bit weird.
Oh, I thought the coach had a BBQ chicken with him, but it's a notebook.
You've really got it on the mind, don't you? You're like so used to having BBQ chicken every time.
It's so good. It's best of the best quality.
It's such high quality.
Why don't we get paid for this house?
I don't know.
Wait, why do we get paid for the other part?
Yeah.
I don't know either.
The other part's way more boring. We should just be talking about chicken the whole time.
Well,
have you got their menu? I didn't do enough prep. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, Champion Select is going to save us from our ludicrousness, as Skarner is going to be the first fan. I love BBQ versus MVP already.
Keep it away from Beyond.
Hey, look, and now you got your wish, because there's going to be no Nara in the top lane.
Now it's your cheeky Azir or Rise ban, and the possibilities are endless.
Oh, I know. Just amazing.
Almost as endless as their menu.
No, but just talk about the value.
It's actually quite expensive, but it's worth it.
But it's the best of the best quality, Papa Smithy, so you have to pay a premium.
And it might be the best quality League of Legends. Who knows?
Well, we're not going to see the Zoe. I know you were thinking about leaving it up.
I wanted to see some Twisted Fate. Tempt has been playing it in solo queue. We saw it in the EULCS yesterday in Spice versus H2K as a pick into the Zoe. Maybe we'll see it anyway, but not as optimistic as we got a lot of edge bans, which means we're going to have some sick real champions on the Rift.
Sick real champion. Real champions sounds like a great thing, Papa Smithy. Either BBQ are a bit weird, and they're going to be banning away the Corki away from Tempt, of course, one of his most successful champions ever, but finally the Ignar ban comes in, and Galio's going to be left open, as well as Azir, as well as Rise, as well as Sejuani, as well as everyone, but the Galio is going to get the lock-in, which makes me a little bit upset because Tempt was the guy that I was looking at to actually pop off. And he's... Oh, wait. Oh, no, it's Ignar.
But will we see BBQ pop off with blue side first pick Galio? Because this week it's been a bit of a horror show. Atlas, the Galios have been very well held. And a flash of Nunu. Probably not going to lock it first, guys. Korean Gus got very excited.
Very excited.
Katie Rolster-esque problem there.
First, Ezreal for Pilot so far this season.
And it's a power draft from MVP. Sejuani left open. You're not going to leave up Sejuani and Galio. If you see those together, someone made a bit of a mess in Champion
There was
Select.
a whoopsie.
Yeah, that was definitely a whoopsie.
Well, now BBQ can lock in whatever they feel like. I feel like you could put that Galio somewhere else and take Azir or Ryze. There are just so many great picks.
But you're doing a Ryze
in the mid lane. No, I wasn't. Oh, Ghost is going to get the coveted Kalista.
Oh, Galio Kalista. You can even load in Kha'Zix and go full 2017 summer. Vladimir
Jarvan.
also.
I was half expecting a Jarvan pickup there, just because it will most likely be banned in the next round from MVP, and having the Galio Jarvan combo feels real nice.
I wonder how Vladimir versus Sion goes, as I think about what ADD will play into Vladimir.
Oh, probably be Poppy, won't it?
That's true. That sounds awful.
She'll be able to steadfast presence the Proto Belt.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a very fun matchup.
No,
I think he'd probably go Sion over the Poppy, but we'll see if BBQ want to put attention to this top lane.
MVP have gotten basically all of the top tier orders. They're getting best of the best quality right now, and BBQ aren't. This is not, it's not feeling right, Papa
Hey,
Smithy.
BBQ have a very fearsome draft. The Rend is already looking very impressive.
That's true.
With a 10% bonus, I got no problem with the Sion's band. Take that, ADD. ADD's like, crap,
We're
that's
in a
all
world
I have.
where Sion and Skarner are understandable bands.
I mean, the Skarner first ban was a bit baffling.
Yeah.
I know it's been played, but come on, guys.
Well, Camille is going to be taken away as well as Jarvan. So not going to be seeing Bono on either of those. Certainly has been playing as much Jarvan as he can.
MVP want to find some more secondary initiate, and Alistar obviously on red side would be perfect. Not going to find that. They have already, like you say, tier list god comp going on, but where do they want to roll from here? Looking for top lane into Vladimir, and there is the old favorite.
Which meat sack is ADD going to play today?
Hey, the one that does pretty well against Vlad.
Hey, that's true. Okay, well, he's going to lock in the Cho'Gath. The old silence flash feast feels good.
BBQ want to start committing here, so they want some more bouncy castle. There's very little bouncy castle.
Yeah, not a lot of it. Okay. Well, we're looking for Bono's champion pickup. No Jarvan, no Sejuani. Could go to the Jax, which I definitely like.
Very stable pick for Bono. Not in Italy games. Probably not going to be visiting his most played this season. And again, we're only going in one direction, so some peel for the Kalista is possible. It could be the Tom Kench here to be
I want
safe.
Leona.
Leona
so
would definitely be good actually here as well, but it's quite maneuverable threats on the red side, so the reliability of Leona is lower. Rakan for Kalista Rakan.
Oh yeah, the Kalista Rakan
That would be
combo.
some bouncy castle.
And also, if you're talking about maneuverability, it's pretty hard to get out of the way of Ignar on this Rakan.
Well, everyone's going in, Atlas.
Grand entrance.
BBQ are committing. They would like to get married as soon as possible. They are definitely committing.
This is the shotgun wedding comp. Is that what
It
you're
is.
calling it?
It is indeed. Whereas MVP now are like, wait.
Wait. It's the shotgun wedding comp because they got knocked up, you know? And you sort of have to...
We need to roll back from the Ententes today.
Okay, never mind. Okay, Max, what do you want to pick up? They're
looking for
saving the
support
Max
here.
pick till last.
And it's Rakan. Seems like they understand which direction BBQ is going in. But now if you bait out Cosmic Radiance, on a draft where Vladimir gets the backline, Cosmic Radiance isn't ready, and oh boy, MVP are going to be in a whole lot of trouble. So BBQ hard commit comp. Not quite a full bounty castle after the Jarvan ban and the Camille, but similar in construction. Kalista Rakan has been doing a lot of winning this week. So
Oh, yeah.
definitely going to be some amazingly long range engages, but MVP going to feel good about Cho'Gath into Vladimir. A free farm lane for the Zir as well. If you ever actually get a gold lead as MVP, and then you have a stopwatch, you're able to turn around some of the wombo engages in teamfight damage, you trust.
And we also know that Beyond is going to have a decent time in the early game and then be able to transition quite well at the same time on the Sejuani. It's why she is such a coveted pick. So some opportunities to get around and start causing some ruckus early for MVP, even though they still have a lot of scaling on their side. Lots of opportunities and lots of different avenues for success from MVP as well. We talk about having a few different routes to be able to win is a good idea. And then after all is said and done, they've got a decent front-to-back composition with some burly members to get in the front line.
Bono on the Jax. Let's see if Temp can make us a believer, because these blue side knock-up-oriented Galio drafts have not worked with any reliability this week. The Galio win rate definitely falling away. BBQ know what they want to do. MVP knows what BBQ wants to do. Let's see who gets the first step ahead.
Yep. And I think you're referring mostly to the Kingzone versus KT match. Game one was definitely an example of that particular knock-up comp not working out so well. But guys, game number one, BBQ versus MVP. Let's get onto the rift.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Damn, they're passionate, aren't they? MVP fans?
The crowd that's here really wants to see this game, and we also have a fun one that could be very explosive. We had the Thinking First series that went on very, very long and was very peculiar.
I think the best way to describe that is actually just a thinking emoji.
Yep.
Yep. It's not a good thing.
If you try to download the VOD, it's going to be that emote looping. Some BBQ fans, a crazy fan in the audience.
I'm a bit of a crazy fan too, Papa Smithy. I like him. I feel like he has turned things around. He's a bit of a, sort of like an, I don't want to say nothing top laner, but you didn't feel anything for Crazy. He wasn't really doing a lot of anything exciting for BBQ.
I think he's always
previous seasons.
He's always been flying under the radar a little bit. Very consistent laner. I think in team fights he sometimes loses his main objective, and his team fighting phase is not as clean as his laning. I know coming into the 2017 spring season, he was actually one of the most hyped players, which you wouldn't have expected, but people were saying, no, Crazy, like he's been grinding solo queues, been very, very consistent. But actually making it work on the top level with any reliability, especially in team fights, has been a struggle. He's going to have a farm lane that's, again, tricky, but still largely a farm lane for the Vladimir. Let's see if his team fight impact can back up the Vladimir draft. They put heavy priority in getting him.
Yeah, and already things have started off pretty interestingly with Beyond starting on his red buff top side, so jungle is moving in opposite directions. See whether that's going to work out well for anyone in particular. And as the laning phase starts, Tempt versus Ian should be one that Tempt should be able to, I guess, generally weather. But can Ian get himself to a point where he can get full control of this lane and prevent the Galio from just heroes entrancing wherever he wants?
I feel like the builds from the Galio's mid lane have been very all over the place. Still no one knows how much AP you need to build on the Galio. This seems very transparently a game where you go into the Abyssal Mask, and then from there you obviously feel really good. So Abyssal Mask seems very likely.
Yep.
Well, you have a damage amp for your Vladimir, and you're against triple AP in some ways in the Sejuani. But from there, like, it feels like Abyssal Mask Leandri is what I would do, but there's been a lot of disagreement. Still a lot of ages in a lot of spots by Faker and other Galios to try to really turn those AP ratios into a potential win condition.
Yeah. And after the changes to Galio, it certainly feels a whole lot better than it used to.
You need it somewhere, right? But where it comes from and when it comes is kind of under disagreement.
Oh, it's the worst Jack skin. He actually has a real weapon. He's not supposed to have a real weapon.
It's got the cool quote for the Make-A-Wish kid that passed away, so it's got that going for it. But otherwise, like you say, not as fun as some of the other ones.
Yeah, it's not lore appropriate, you know. It's ruining my immersion.
You're gonna get fully immersed in this beautiful League of Legends lore.
I get immersed in the League of Legends lore, Papa Smithy. It's one of my favorite things.
Well, Bono got immersed in the enemy jungle, but
he got out again though. Leave strike to his ward. Needed a really quick collapse just to make sure that Beyond is going to claim his Krug camp. Good stuff.
Smart time to be counter jungling, because when he was on the enemy Krug camp, Crazy knew there was no chance he would be ganked, so allows him to overextend early against the Vladimir. Sorry, against the Cho'Gath as the Vladimir. Once again, his first shop in. Proto Belt has been the buy this week after the quest line of items, the support AP line of items, no longer truly available to the Vladimir. We've seen a lot of Proto Belt for lane control. Makes a lot of sense. What's old is new again.
Yeah, exactly. Into the Leandries, of course, after that. Comet being picked up here from ADD as well, just give himself some extra damage if those ruptures do land. We saw he was able to let some of them stick, so feeling good. You can bet your bottom dollar, though, that ADD will be building straight tank. Not going to be doing a whole lot of much as far as the damage focus is concerned until that Gargoyle Stoneplate combination with the Feast is going to come in.
Mono being called to mid lane, is turning on to Beyond.
Yeah, actually doing a decent amount of damage with the
Q's
counter strike.
on cooldown.
Ian turning up at a decent clip. Still going to be the flash coming out from Beyond to start things off.
Yeah, after the Assault was on cooldown, so he had to flash away.
Yeah.
Really weird choice of rune here by Ignite. He's actually gone for Summoner Airy and not for the Unsealed Spellbook on... Sorry, for Ignite,
yeah.
I should say, sorry. It's a really weird choice. You see a lot of kind of creative stuff in solo queue around Unsealed Spellbook on specifically the Rakan. In Kalista Rakan, it's actually pretty common now in Korean solo queue to go Exhaust Ignite start because you have the E to get away in teamfights, the Battle Dance Shield, and you just try to go for a gimmicky Exhaust Ignite all-in kill early.
If you have a look over the other side, though, Papa, we've got Beyond and Ian both taking Unsealed Spellbook.
Yep. On full power on patch 8.2. See it in the mid lane on Ian. First strikes you as strange because Comet is almost always taken for lane control.
Or Ares sometimes.
Situationally. I guess against Galio, you don't feel like you can poke out, but we've seen quite a few Azirs poke out Galio's early game quite consistently. BDD against Faker, for example, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So a little bit surprising to go so passive.
But Unsealed Spellbook jungle. Is this the first time we've seen Unsealed Spellbook Sejuani?
I believe for Sejuani it might be. We see it on Skarner pretty commonly because, of course, it's all about the flash.
Yeah.
A bit bizarre for Beyond to be going for it on Sejuani, where your flash is not as high value as some of these other junglers, Gragas and Skarner, for example.
Yeah, it could have been like the old, I guess, Shyvana idea when you used to go into the top lane and take teleport smite, you know, sometimes
And
back
also,
in an old meta. And
Tempt
ignite.
is also off the deep end because he's got an Aftershock on Galio.
Yeah.
That's a really weird one.
Does mean that he has a hell of a lot of resists now early on in the game to start things off. Might be just more of a defensive option against the harassment that Ian will be putting down.
Now, the flat resists do scale very well with his
Shield.
His magic resist scaling that he has, and like you say, with his shield, with his W proccing it very readily, the damage is lower. Bono's bot lane.
Yeah, Bono's going to get in there. Not going to land a Dazzle, but that's an immediate flash out from Max. He wanted not a bar of it.
So flat resist early. Very interesting. I wonder if that means he'll go AP then. If he's going to have flat resists for the start of a team fight at least. When he comes in with the ult, best believe he's going to be pretty tanky.
Well, Tempt has always been a man that's liked damage over safety in general, and Infernal Drake can be started here at 7.5 minutes into the game. Early Dragon, we saw that in our last series as well. 5 going down. This might be early enough for that to work, and that was really cute smite / pierce timing.
Also good map control there on the bot side. They had the Galio ult. Bono was level 6, was pretty straightforward. ADD put down a control ward and then gets to feast away the blue buffs. So
Delicious.
One good news story for MVP.
Although Crazy's going to come down and Tides of Blood him. He's just going to lumber his way back. Stop it, Vladimir.
And AD has Comet. I feel like everyone decided to go for alternative summoner spell.
Yeah, I know. I was talking about that before. It's just like there's just super weirdness. Apart from the Kleptomancy, that's literally it. As the ultimate comes in from Max, Cosmic Radiance of odd timing as Ignar is going to pop himself back. Gleaming Quill doing more damage than I've ever seen, but the rend is not quite there for Ghost just yet. And he's just a little bit too low. Max is playing with fire walking back into this lane though. Pilot is at full health.
Ignar was so close to level 6. That would have iced open the kill, but it was like the caster minions away when the all-in started, so wasn't able to utilize the quickness. Still has flash, but Max has tier, so you know how this goes.
Well, Beyond here now for the counter gank, and there's no vision available for BBQ. Moves himself in, Glacial Prison available. Not a lot of options now. Bono has to give up on his Krug camp, come down here to defend. MVP a lot of control down bottom side.
Here's a punishment back timing for Ghost. Oh, that's just whole inning.
Jesus, so much damage onto Bono. Grandmaster's Might thankfully doing some work as Tempt. Pretty happy that he has the Aftershock now because he's not going to die. The all-in attempt from Ian.
What a weird And that's coming off a really weird
I know,
day.
we're having a weird day. It's like Twilight Zone here, Papa Smithy.
Hard to make sense of some of the decisions that are made, but maybe we'll get a nice interview at the end of it to talk about some of these edge case uses of summoners.
Yeah, well, Tempt is going to taunt up Ian, who takes so much damage there. You can see he's going still potentially the Abyssal Mask. I, like you, Papa, did like the idea of a little bit more of an AP focus, so it could be a Rod of Ages.
Yeah, Abyssal Mask is the right choice because they have Vladimir, but then it makes you wonder about the Aftershock, so it's a bit interesting, is all I'll say.
Yep. Actually, Abyssal Mask coming in from the other side as well. ADD starting off with that one on top side.
Control so far on the bot side is really all BBQ have to show for it.
Right, Grand Entrance coming down as Max taking a heck of a lot of damage. The heal has to come out from Pilot, and the stopwatch is there to deny a potential death rend.
That forces a heal from Ghost, just from the stopwatch. A pretty good trade of cooldowns all in by the side of MVP.
Yeah, they're just looking to focus on Max here as well. As you can see, the poke coming down. Was that a Gleaming Quill that did that chunk of damage to Max?
I mean, some players
Did he
go
actually do damage with that move?
There are some people who go 3 points Q. Now that you don't have Ardent Sensor anymore, the value of going for the shield rush is low. Grand Entrance, it never gets to a low enough cooldown unless you have 40% CDR to actually use it twice in a fight. So maxing it's only a bit of burst damage. So you can actually go for a Q-Max if you want to. It's a bit of sustain, but also poke.
Hopefully we hop over onto Ignar and have a look at where he's been divvying out his points. Crazy and ADD having a great time. ADD feels like the last remaining bastion of hope for tank-only players. Because Ignar, we're checking it out. Yeah, looks like 4 points in Q.
It's a straight-up max of Q.
Yeah.
Gorilla used to go, and a lot of support Rakans just before Ardent Sensor hit would go 3 points Q, and then max E for the Ardent Sensor, but obviously, right now, I see everything. I saw Mad Life and Solo Q yesterday, going for W max. E max, you don't see as much, but sometimes equal points between, say, E and W. But Q first. If you walk up, it's an aggressive choice. Ignar is one of our aggressive supports, so I guess I can get behind it.
Also works with the fact that he's taken Summoner Area as well. Just means
Yep.
you got a little bit more damage threat on probably one of the worst abilities in the game. So that too feels hipster.
I like when he throws out Q and it's like 500 range, meanwhile Ezreal hits him at 1100 range. It's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah. Just demonstrating our point of it's not a great move, honestly.
The only reason you would go Q-Max and Summon Areas for lane control, which I can kind of understand, but when you're Ignar especially, and most of your value is from dodging lane, why not go into the Unsteel Spellbook and start roaming? So that's the part where I find it pretty bizarre.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll become a believer as things go on. First purchase is starting. The Ruin King rush from Ghost, no surprise. He is lethal tempo to confirm.
Damn, ADD is getting angry. Crazy on the top side. Look at this. Emo Plague's going to go down defensively just to get back some health. A whole lot of it here with only 1 point in. Still desperate for that level 11. Winds of War. Starting to chunk onto Ian here as Ignar just out of vision range. Oh, and Glacial Prison goes completely wide. That was weird, Ian. It looked like he was pretending to use Justice Punch on Azir. But
Beyond
let's get out.
straight up missing Jax was also pretty strange, but they'll walk away, no harm, no foul.
The game continues to be quite weird. Good, good. The theme of today continues. This is what happens when there's no BBQ chicken. No one knows what's going on.
I know that BBQ wants to keep controlling bot sides, what they've done this entire game. Beyond doesn't know they're here.
Odd place to put that control ward as well before he face checks and has to flash Arctic Assault.
A lot of people could be caught in transition here. Here's TP as well.
Yep, TP going to come in. Ian going to make his way down at the same time. So ADD's turned up. This is the 5v5 that we're looking for as Ghost. Fate's Call gets Ignar out of there. But that's the flash of the Kalista, which is important for MVP, and they do save their blue buff.
Yeah, everyone shows up except for Crazy, who did swap over to Teleport. He's not interested in coming over, and I imagine BBQ just want to wait this all out, go back to bot side, still have the hero's entrance, and take the second Drake of the game. Feels like stacking Drakes is what BBQ have decided they want to do with their Galio comp, rather than trying to make wombo engages in side lanes when flashes are up. Plenty of lane control bot side. Bono being shadowed by Ian. And now that Galio comes in freshly shot with the Abyssal Mask to confirm, maybe it's go time for BBQ.
Yeah, and you can see Bono's been trying to find ganks. And hasn't really had very many opportunities. Falling behind in farm to what Beyond has been able to put together, which is a big deal, you know? It's Precision Tree versus that Unsealed Spellbook. Which just does mean that theoretically Beyond should have been sacrificing some power in the early game.
Yeah, it doesn't even have Precision Secondary, so has no attack space. Bot lane.
Yeah, good grand entrance. Pilot in trouble. Will they actually have the ultimate go off in time? They will. That stopwatch timing was odd, Pilot. I don't know whether you wanted to do that, and you are going to fall down. Max is going to die as well, as all the members of BBQ turn up at once.
Definitely not one of the Zonias you want to remember. The stopwatch effect doesn't get much value. Ian's going to push mid lane, probably take the turret. Temp doesn't have TP to get down back there, so he's going to start walking up. At least most of the turret gone. Go for safety. A lot of turret HP lost by BBQ, but 2 kills and a second Drake of the game is a pretty decent war chest.
Yeah. Similar dragons to what we saw the last game as well, as Ian's going to get taunted up by Tempt, but isn't too worried about it otherwise. It's a cloudy day. We're going to have another one after this as well. Beyond turning up, also unable to find too many gank opportunities. But lots of tower damage done by MVP in response, but this was a really nice initiation by Ignar.
I mean, decisive initiation is why Ignar is respected as a support player. Famously at Worlds, pulling off so many big plays. The Zonius stay in spot there when Galio had showed up. The stopwatch did not get much value at all. Trying to reinforce mid lane and take down this turret, but do it at your peril against Tempt for now.
Yep. And he's now going to go over and grab a blue buff. We'll see whether they actually clear the ward here, because Bono, at the moment, not actually standing in the brush.
Someone will get in there.
Yeah, Tempt will find it. Probably walks all the way over.
So what does it all mean? Crazy has been able to just do nothing this game and pile in the CS, so no pressure on him, no jungle attention, means that the good matchup for the Cho'Gath hasn't really yielded much, and Vladimir is hitting his item spikes just fine. Mid lane, Azir predictably has done a free farm duty, but when Leandrich comes in for Tempt especially, when he has his 2-item power spike, there's a lot of wombo for the side of BBQ, even if Crazy's not involved, even if it's 4v4.
Crimson Rush still doing some work, even though the Abyssal Mask is in there. I think ADD actually building towards Ninja Tabi by the looks.
And Bono might be going full tank this game. Notice that he does have the Ruby Crystal and the second Null Magic Mantle, so might be lower emphasis on the Trinity Force.
We've seen some Adaptive Helm second moves, especially against the likes of Azir.
A lot of value for that in this game. Azir, Cho'Gath.
Yeah. Not bad at all. Vorpal Spikes, of course, falling under the category of being able to be stopped pretty effectively by the Adaptive Helm. First item spike coming in for Ian. Nash's Tooth is done, so they should be able to start pushing out these waves and getting some pressure on MVP's side of the map relatively early. Nice Swamp Gauntlet done for Pilot as well, so he wants to complete that Manamune and have a really great time as well. Ghost nowhere near the Hurricane for his coveted Kalista power spike.
Would like to see MVP play topside for the last 5 minutes or so. I saw them invest 3 control wards and also smite the Rift Scuttler bot side when Drake doesn't spawn for multiple minutes, and that's been where BBQ was strongest. I understand the theory of trying to deny some of the roams from Tempt, but the wards weren't even extensively placed around the brush you saw them in just now, around mid lane, so they didn't actually put that much pressure onto Tempt. And they haven't been able to take a Rift Herald, which would have been free this entire game. So while they're getting some defense going, they're not getting anything set up. There's no win conditions being hit by the side of MVP. Finally making a visit topside.
Okay, so Crazy just going to stand here underneath the turret, try not to move out too far. Beyond, once again, struggling to make a gank really work, but this should mean turret goes down unless Bono can get some work done. Does create enough space for Crazy to clear out the wave, and once again, bit of a stalemate. I mean, same health on both turrets top. 2
melee champions, they don't have any advanced visions, they don't know where Jax is. They do now. And ADD will take a bit of free damage here.
Yeah, desperate to stop the backs here as well, as ADD forced to use the flash Beyond. He has to come back and help out as the feast does come in. Teleport coming out.
Oh!
Glacial Fissure Prison comes down at the right time, and Bono's going to trade this one. Hero's entrance, though. He's got so many resists. As the Cosmic Radiance comes down. Ian misses out on that one, but has the stopwatch, and he's in amongst 5 people. He's dead. Ghost grabs the kill. Everyone turning up at the right time for BBQ.
And that's the important thing to talk about. BBQ had already started rotating. Ghost was going top lane and ended the laning phase. No ability for Pilot to get them means they would always be outnumbered, and it's against a global as well. The moment that AD was caught under turret, MVP had a good 30 seconds to judge where they were on the map and how much to commit to defending the Cho'Gath. Consider that Kalista and Rakan are already walking up when this clip starts. That's the big difference, is that Taric and Ezreal are slowly going bot lane. Taric eventually slows down. They're always going to be lower in numbers. Galio's going to get in there as well. Bono's still alive. Getting in for the 2-man knock-up. Actually ended up making a stopwatch. Temp just interrupts Beyond and Max. They do nothing in this fight. They turn onto Ian. The tanks in the backline getting tussled up by Galio. The threats being focused. Too straightforward for BBQ, and a big punish on MVP.
Yep, not too many good news stories for MVP. Top lane out of turret, still going to stay standing though as Pilot makes it up in time, so that stalemate continues. See, Ignar actually taking a little while to get back towards the top side, and Ghost went back home as well, so it might mean that there's an opportunity here for MVP to shove out. With True Shot Barrage, should be able to get that wave moving forward, but still a little bit scared. Got Bono getting up here in time, and Ignar with his Moby Boots real quick.
Probably going to see Ignar go for the Zeke's Convergence this game. Could be Righteous Glory as well, but the Glacial Shroud being inched together for Ignar. Zeke's Convergence, the new Flavor of the Month item for supports in Korea.
Especially the Rakan. Oh no. Okay, Winter's Wrath, not going to be able to find him. And the Russian Bear is going to keep gallivanting around the mid lane. Ghost should be able to do this though, and that's going to be solo gold for the Kalista.
Very late first brick at 21 minutes, but first turret does go the way of BBQ. And let's see if they can keep stacking. It's Cloud Drake, but it will be the 3rd of the game pretty early. They're in a position to force 5, just like we saw in our previous series. 4, I should say.
Yep.
Depending on the timing, the next one is taken. As Tempt can just walk up and ignore damage.
Hit it as well. Still continues yelling at Crazy. Cloud Drake has spawned. So this is the opportunity for MVP to avoid a perfect game, because right now, BBQ on track, taking that one down.
And I imagine Crazy will consider a Void Staff next to actually have some real pushing oomph into the Cho'Gath. For now, of course, going to be largely out-sustained by Cho'Gath's kit.
Yeah.
Could also go for Zonias for team fights. Those are the 2 big options he'll be considering.
And the Comet is going to come down. Crazy actually starting to take some actual damage. We'll be able to sustain it all back up. MVP doing exactly what I was saying, avoiding the perfect game potential for BBQ. BBQ still what feels like a comfortable position despite the fact that the gold doesn't tell much of a story.
Ghost is staying top lane, trying to get a farm lead over the Ezreal. Already has 2 items, so wasn't in a position to force the fight that it seems like they're comped to win with a Kalista at 2 items and the Galio ready to roll.
Yep.
Galio himself is kind of split between 2 ideals of the Zonias and also the Liandry's.
Ow, says Ghost.
Not a lot of map control forward from either team. It's that probably going to be a full reset from both teams, then we'll get a truer idea of how they want to set up. I was BBQ, just a bit of control wards, a bit of vision. Split pushing for the Vladimir bot side would go a long way.
Well, I think that MVP should go for Baron, because that's what they always do. And there's not a whole lot of vision for BBQ. They often try at really stupid times, and this is about stupid enough to be MVP, but might also work.
I mean, I think you should just follow the logic and also notice they have good Baron damage, good Baron secure, and good Baron turn. They have all 3 things. So getting vision around the blue side of the enemy team is what MVP wants to do. So it feels like blue side vision is what both teams right now would be most behooved to move their position forward in the game. BBQ, predictably getting that vision around Baron.
Oh, and it's the Earth, Wind, and Fire Dragons as well, so moving fast, doing damage, and taking down structures. So that's brilliant.
I feel like MVP probably think they're further behind than they actually are. It's only 1,800 gold lead. With the 4 kills in the game and low turret numbers as well, their farm numbers are very good.
Got a bit of a face check, but Max bastions him up, and everything's going to be fine.
Looking up.
Yeah, there's the ultimate out from beyond. Will guarantee the turret. Actually, no. They all back away. Real scared play here from MVP after the Glacial Prism misses. Get themselves a flash out of Ghost, though, so I'd probably make the trade.
It was the right time because crazy. So Galio was topside, but they're slower to react. They still can't get the turret, though. That's the frustration here in a 4v3.
Okay, Ignite taking a lot of damage here, but the tower is all MVP want. And they'll back away here as well. ADD doing a good job holding off Crazy. The Rupture not going to find the target, though.
MVP, they can reset, they put down the Azir turret, they're causing a lot of pressure on the map. So the Baron play you mentioned should be considered by them. It feels like a risky time because we're still early in the game. But that being able to square BBQ away, make them accountable with things like Azir turrets and Vladimir being well held in the side lane by ADD, actually ratcheting the pressure, actually making BBQ do something is the next step for MVP.
And actually, this isn't the wet noodle fight that I was expecting. ADD doing a great job. Frozen Heart now done. Looks like more CDR as well, so 30% currently just in his items alone.
And people forget that the Vorpal Spikes do maximum health damage, and whatever Crazy buys, he'll inevitably be getting help from it. So
yeah.
You actually do a pretty decent chunk with a full rotation of Vorpal Spikes and a Feral Scream. Means that you're not going to be able to thread as many spell rotations when you're slowly waddling away as this giant alien. So
yeah.
In general, the trading patterns are better in practice than they may look like on paper for the Cho'Gath against the Vladimir specifically.
Yeah, the best part about it is that he keeps shoving him in underneath the turret. Crazy not able to create much pressure here, more just answering what this Cho'Gath is offering. It's all about what Vladimir can do if he gets into a team fight, though. So you mentioned the Void Staff. That will be coming as item number 3, and Crazy will then become a pretty fighting force.
I got bad news, though. There's no real wards from either team to force one of these fights. All the wards are super defensive. MVP have controlled their side of the map. BBQ have controlled theirs. It's only a face check that could lead to a fight.
Speaking of.
Pilot doesn't need to walk that way, so smartly won't.
Yep. Ooh, he could have. The Arcane Shift instead. There's the Fate's Call. They know that it's on cooldown. No Arcane Shift available, but the Cosmic Radiance is going to be there. Pilot gets himself out of the way. Good exhaust onto Bono to deny anything, and ADD's teleported his way forward. Redemption coming down as there's the Emo Plague. Big damages. Pilot's going to explode. See you later, buddy. That's the double kill straight away for Crazy, and now Max will follow up. Tides of Blood. That's a triple. And that's BBQ grabbing 7 kills now, and they'll move to the Baron, and this will be a real gold loop.
Really smart team fight there from BBQ. They waited the longest time, then Crazy saw his moment. Burst down 2, they turn on to Baron.
Yeah, and that's Billy Joel as well, Papa Smithy, but here's another fight. Heroic Entrance comes down.
I think
Zen's
Ian hit the ground, it was hard to tell.
Yep, not sure. But Bouncy Castle was enacted, as you like to say, and Ghost will stick so many spears into this Baron, there's going to be no chance that MVP are going to be able to steal it. Even if Beyond does manage to get into the pit. Right now he's flashing away, Arctic Assaulting away. The Baron will go over to BBQ, so big rush of action.
Let's watch MVP in the mid lane. So Galio couldn't get there, he was topside. That's why you make this play. So far so good, so far tracks it makes sense. Why did MVP really open themselves up is the question. They see ADD get a decent burst, and then they just stay too long. No one's watching Crazy. He gets into the backline with a full rotation onto Pilot of all people. Should never happen. Cho'Gath instantly taken down. They get the 3rd kill there. It feels like MVP misread the fight. They thought everything was down, but then so was Vladimir in the fight, in the backline, and suddenly 4-0 and 3.
Yeah, and now you got everyone on 0-2-0 as well, apart from Beyond, who honestly, it'd be better if he was the one that was dying in a lot of these fights. Means that he would have been tanking up the damage, but otherwise it's just the carries aren't having a great time. And you've got Secret Agent Bono over here. Never thought you two actually did James Bond music, but I guess they do. So he's going to be taking down Mountain Drake as well.
And he's not very secret. He's quite a conspicuous agent. He's piling on the pounds, buying a Warmox as well.
Yeah.
So he's going to be just there as a pure tank. The problem now comes in the game is that with Vladimir suddenly getting a huge burst of gold, now ADD can't win trades against him. It's Void Staff and Needlessly Large Rod. He's going to be able to push it. He has Baron as well, just to make it even worse.
Yeah, and ADD really struggles to take down these Baron.
Remember, this was ultra even. Now it's 2 level advantage. Now 1, but 1.5 level advantage and Baron buff. I mean, the Cho'Gath counter pick or strong laning matchup is moot. Now he just loses the lane slowly because of the sustain and poke from the Vladimir and the super minions not being as fast to clear out with the Vorpal spikes. So a lot of problems presented, and it feels like we're one team fight away from BBQ just closing the game.
Yeah. Crazy. Getting himself to 7 out of 8 kill contribution with 4-0-3 out of nowhere. Vladimir has worked in the past. Certainly looking great this game. Ignar wants an opportunity, but lots of back pings because there's a cheeky little ward for MVP. Gonna find that at least.
I think where the game is at, one more sweeper might be strong here for BBQ. Running on only 2. Cutting between mid and bot lane and not being sighted by wards is pretty difficult for them. Eventually the Baron buff minions push in, and AD can't stay around for every minion wave, so big chunk there enacted by Ghost.
Vision denial also so important when you want to be able to get through these jungles quickly and effectively without getting caught.
Q is the final max for Bono on the Jax. Seen a first max by other junglers, so the versatility for the Jax is there on many different build types, but also on his item skill types. 40% CDR and Counter-Strike means you have, I believe, a 33% uptime on an AoE immunity. That was a hard word to say. Immunity to auto attacks, but also AoE CC. So high cooldown reduction builds pretty good on the Jax. Helps with the Trinity Force build, but this time is purely about tanky stats and over time, just with his passive and his W, doing damage in a fight.
Yeah, I actually like that particular max for the more tanky build that he's gone with as well, so that's cool. Lord Dominic's Regard completed here for Ghost. Has himself a cheeky BF sword. This Callista is well and truly doing damage. Only 1-0-5, so wants to grab himself a few extra kills in the next team fight, prove that he is the carry.
And he's got a Bloodthirster and out lifesteal everything.
Will be the triple lifesteal build in the end. Mercurial Scimitar is completed after that.
Very obvious Lord Dominic's Regard game against Cho'Gath Sejuani.
Yeah. I like it when it's a no-brainer like that, you know? It's like my itemization isn't an actual question.
Awkwardly for Pilot, he kind of wants both because Executioner's calling so strong against the Vladimir. Maybe you just have to deal with the healing and actually try to do damage to them, so maybe Lord Dominic's is still the Regard, but Ezreal has a single target AD carry, not as powerful with that item. A spell single target AD carry will always struggle against the likes of Galio. Just not enough damage to puncture through him. Galio himself piling on the ability power.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because despite the fact that BBQ had the Baron, you know, got that pushing out, it has of course worn off now. You see that purple worm come back again soon. There just really hasn't been very many opportunities for them to break open MVP's base. And look, MVP have even been able to reclaim vision control on the top side of their jungle. So maybe BBQ not quite giving it enough as far as the aggression is concerned, capitalizing on what is now a decent gold lead in 5,000.
I mean, their siege is kind of rubbish, so if you think about their siege, it's kind of Callista or Vladimir split pushing. So for that, they're unable to actually pick up turrets. They got a lot of damage on the inner turret bot lane, but not able to finish it off. They need to commit to fights, but we're getting to terrain where it's difficult to actually force MVP to opt in. So the next Baron might be the big point in the game where they both get the fight and potentially the buff to close out the game.
Minute 30 approximately before that one comes back online again.
I'd love to tell you stories of action, but for now, difficult for BBQ to advance their position.
It's not the day today. It's not the day for action. It's the day for chilling out. But at least BBQ has been able to show us some pretty decent team fights so far this game. We've got a 5-item Vladimir to prove that he's capable of doing some damage. Rabbit and Deathcap done. Counter-Strike flies through, and Glacial Prison is going to miss yet again. Beyond not having his greatest day, but look at the chunk out. Gigantic damage. Fate Skull is going to save Ignar. Good double knock-up. It's crazy. Launches himself into the backline. Temp joins him with the hero's entrance, and no more Cosmic Radiance means no more Cho'Gath. An MVP only have a bottom lane, and an absent Azir to try and help stave off this potential Baron in 50 seconds.
Yeah, Azir thought they had enough to actually just back away, but the commit was made. Speaking of commitment,
yep, Bono is actually going to have to flash Leap Strike, but back in goes Temp. 3-man taunt as Pilot's going to be able to get a kill back against all of it. Ghost trying to stay alive, but the Sand Soldier's massive damage. And No one's going to die just yet, but everyone blinking health bars.
Yeah, a lot of damage. They weren't able to tank the turret forever, so Ghost couldn't get the triple kill that seemed obvious. From there, Vladimir will push up top side, but they probably will not pick up Baron on this passage of play. Bono did not finish the Warmogs yet, so can't just shrug and move away and then turn on to Baron. So they get 2 inner turrets, but not quite the Baron they thought they might have claimed when they got the pick onto the Beyond on the Sejuani.
Yeah, actually told a lie. Of course, Ignite did fall down the last fight. So that Baron up in 5 seconds. They will not have the Rakan.
He can... Oh, he doesn't have teleport. I was in my head, he's had Unsealed Spellbook, of course, but...
No, not this time.
We'll actually have to run up there. How quaint.
But he's going to run super fast. So that's handy. Moby Boots helping out.
Did go Righteous Glory. It's not going for the Flavor of the Month build. No Zeke's Convergence yet.
No, not quite. We'll have a lot of that engage potential, and that's exactly what Ignar wants on his ranged Alistair in the Rakan. How I like to think about it anyway. Wander his way over, and BBQ setting themselves up for yet another Baron. And you mentioned MVP having a lot of Baron damage and secure. BBQ has also set up for that at exactly the same time.
BBQ crucially don't have a locket against Vladimir, Galio, who are both stacking ability power. And that's going to come and hurt them a lot. I don't think Redemption's going to be enough against the Hemo play and Galio bursting people. Not something we usually talk about, but with Death Cap next on the menu, we're going to see it. So right now, seeing the opt-in on the Mikhails by Max is very bizarre.
Yeah.
On the one hand, you can understand it for Galio and I guess Rakan, but...
Sort of Rakan, because...
QSS is already there. Like, I can understand the theory behind it, but a Locket gives him so much more reliable ability to disengage that would have loved to see Locket here.
And I feel like Mikhails is only for Counter-Strike. I mean, you can't... Mikhails...
Rakan is one we can consider when it comes to...
I guess for the quickness, but...
There's so many CCs going on that I think just having an extra 700 HP from a Locket would be a lot more useful. Cosmic Radiance on point and the world's best Mikhails, and there's a way to make you a believer is Ian.
Yep, Ian not going to quite get knocked up just yet, and the Emperor's Divide is them at least out of the way. BBQ still want this fight though as Ghost. He's going to move himself forward, gets a few Ren stacks in, but not enough. And Ian still just going to casually wander himself back.
They know Hemo Plague is down, and they still have Cosmic Radiance, so they don't have to be as respectful here, MVP. There's the last couple of times we've seen a tussle in this area.
Just testing the waters right now, trying to control this vision.
Galio has 526 AP. Jesus. His Q is actually going to poke for insane damage.
Actual winds of war.
Only one tick onto Cho'Gath, but did about 300 damage. That's nice.
It's pretty good. He's got a lot of health, that Cho'Gath guy. And Imagine Resist, of course. Beyond, tanking that up nicely, but passive, of course, is there.
And on an Ultra Tank's not going to be as impressive as it ever hits Azir or the Ezreal.
Come on, Temp, landed on Ezreal for science. I want to find out. Baron has actually been started here by Ghost and Ignite. Ghost just happy to tank it as Temp. Goes into his stopwatch. Cosmic Radiance, but only onto a couple of members of MVP here as they're just going to be able to grab the kill onto Temp. Bit of a brain fade, honestly, as Max flashes forward with the Dazzle. Bono gets himself out of the way. Fate's Call going to save Ignite for now, but Ian, he's going to be able to grab the kill onto Bono. Bouncy Castle inactive, but it might be a little bit too late. The Rupture comes through, silenced and destroyed onto the Vladimir, and MVP go to their favorite place in the world, the Baron Pit, and they should be able to grab it.
BBQ really botched that one. 2 people were on the Baron as they looked for a pick, but no one committed to it. Zonia is used very early by the Galio. Temp just dies. Never even gets a hero's entrance off during the entire fight. You don't go hard engage without the ultimate against Cho'Gath, of all people, but he gets into the back line. Ghost is still on the Baron at this point, and then basically just dies incidentally through all this, tries to hero's entrance, sorry, just tries to Justice Punch out of it. And from there, it's just closest tie. It's too easy for the side of MVP. Very bizarre for the side of BBQ to throw what was a sizable lead, and MVP pick up the Baron.
Yeah, super strange. Also grabbed themselves some crucial kills at the same time, so this split push going to be a different experience. Crazy's still dead for a few seconds.
And now the scariest Locket of them all is on the menu, as ADD will be able to, with its health scaling on the ability, actually help out in a big way. So this could be a very consequential mistake here. Giving up a Baron, giving up kills, you know, that's already consequential, but
yeah,
given the items that might crest from this, Gargo's Stoneplay into Locket's one of my favorite interactions because people be super tanky for a little bit. It's like over 1,000 shielding, 1,500 maybe with how tanky Cho'Gath is.
And right now he has Flash as well, so...
And there's also a lot of standing gold right now for them to pick up as well.
Got the Knight's Vow, he's helping out Pilot. I just love it, just the Gargoyle Locket Flash Feast for
All right,
bajillions of
Crazy's
damage.
going for the solo play.
Ignar gets into the backline, it's decent as Ian just explodes him. Not a whole lot of options. Cosmic Radiance down at the right time as the Redemption keeps them all alive. ADD, he's all gargoyled up and doing a lot of work, and Tempt once again evaporates. Huge rupture into the backline as ADD's having the Cho'Gath performance of his life. The double kill comes out for Ian. They'll grab the ace, and MVP are looking to push it through.
They probably win from this play exactly because they have 5 members still alive. 40 seconds on anyone from BBQ in 2 plays in less than 10 minutes. MVP won the game.
Yep, they've done it. Baron buff is here, so these minions are going to last long enough. Inhibitor to go down. An MVP against the turn of play, and also with a good Baron play. This was an MVP Baron punishment. They're able to take down. Maybe the old MVP's gone. Maybe we need to welcome the new MVP to the LCK as they take game number 1 against BBQ.
Big assist to the side of BBQ, though, for this victory. They had no need to mismanage their play around Baron so decisively. Maybe decisive is the word we should talk about. They didn't seem to have a single decision. Ghost was still on the Baron while Tempt was giving up his health. With Trick in the lineup, maybe the shot coin would have been a bit more reliable, and Bono had a decent game. He was on point for the majority of it, but then everything seemed to fall away at the same time. And in this meta, where a mistake at 40 minutes can decide the game, they made 2 of those mistakes, and the game was over.
Yeah, and you understood the idea of what they were trying to go for, you know, get that flanking Hemo play, get the CC into the backline, things like that. Ignar set up a really nice quickness on a lot of people, got his grand entrance happening, but just straight up wasn't enough. They were just too burly. You've got Sejuani and Cho'Gath. You can't burst through that.
Yeah, and the positioning was so weird. Hero's entrance not being used in a fight when you have so much ability power that does decent damage.
Yeah.
Positioning here, they had so many people to use the conduit for the Hero's entrance, but they tried to have Tempt zone when the Baron was really high in health. They didn't commit on the Baron, so Tempt gives up his life for no reason, and they just walk up and die. 3 members go down, the Baron goes down, then MVP win the game. So MVP, credit to them. They stayed in it. They didn't make too many mistakes as it went on. And we already said this team is getting better and better, even if the results hadn't been showing.
Yeah. I liked it from MVP, but BBQ a lot of question marks, especially Tempt there in the mid lane. It just looked like he was out of sorts on the Galio.
Blue side Galio, man.
Yeah, and it seemed like it was working. And remember, this team was on cue for a perfect game still at 20 minutes in. They were at 7-0, you know, this team was looking real good. Then one kerfuffle around the Baron pit, and it all falls away. And you'd expect at the end of a match like this, when it's MVP involved, that we'd be talking about MVP. They're the ones that love throwing at Baron, doesn't matter how the early game went. This time, actually playing with some poise, getting vision control actually around the pit, instead of just going for the YOLO Baron.
They're not rolling over anymore. They're trying to be competitive. They were in the right position to pounce on some mistakes. So you can reward them, even if BBQ did so much good work in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, like to see what they can do, but game number 2 coming up right after a short break, guys. Don't go anywhere.